Hi guys, a very good morning for all of you. Today I'm going to teach bank reconciliation statement, the third part of this bank reconciliation, chapter number 9. And here today on this video, I'm going to teach you entirely about how to do a bank reconciliation statement from beginning to end. I want you guys to watch the entire video to score better on your exams. This might be tested on your O levels, most probably to 12 to 14 marks in your paper 1 as well as in your paper 2 together. Maybe even it can be tested around 8 marks on your paper, but it's a complete area. Certain students leave these areas because thinking bank reconciliation statement as the hardest part. But I'm going to teach you in an easy way what you need to know and what you not what you should not do on your papers when it comes to bank reconciliation statement. That's what we're going to look now. Now, when it comes to bank reconciliation statement, on previous videos, I have taught you everything how to do a bank account, how do we record a bank overdraft. Based on the activities also I did certain activities. Now today I'm going to start bank reconciliation statement. I will try to do all the activities in this area because it's very highly tested. Certain activities I skip because those are not tested much. That's the reason I skip for other areas. So if you want certain activities for me to do in certain areas which I have done, please comment on the comment section. And also please do not forget to subscribe my channel to learn with me more. I have uploaded from chapter 1 to chapter 9 on this video because I'm speaking on chapter 9, and I have uploaded a lot of past papers on the playlist called O-Level Commerce. If you go to my video, channel and if you see the playlist, you'll be able to find out what are the videos you really wanted to learn. And you can learn from chapter 1. If you have not started yet, learning from chapter 1, go now, start from chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4. So you will not miss out to get less results on your exams. So let's start today class bank reconciliation statement. So here you can see they have given a paragraph. As you know, on all my classes, I don't go behalf of all the entire thing and explain you, but I explain you in a easy way. I don't go with the entire thing and read it because I'm not sure uh, school teachers or I'm not sure other type of teachers which you might expect. I might make it a bit easy because these are things you need to know, but not that necessarily you don't want to focus on these areas. Now let's move on to the bank reconciliation statement. On the first class, on the first video, I taught you that whenever you put money into the bank, from your side perspective, bank is receiving the money. From your perspective, money is in the bank account. So when you go and put the money, as you all remember, I'll revise the things what we have learned. So I'm going to take my whiteboard. You can see here. So when you go and put the money in the bank, okay, I'm not a good drawing person. So I'll write here two things. One is a bank, or a business. I'm going to draw a bank. Now in business and bank, what you need to do now, business is going to give some money to bank. So when business is giving the money to bank, what you need to do that they are going to putting their money inside the bank. So from the business perspective, the money is asset, right? So the money what they are stored in the bank account is an asset. So they can take the money whenever they want. So I'll write here, business considers bank money as an assets because they can take the money whenever they want. But the moment you go and put the money to the bank, okay. So I say I consider my bank account as an asset. From the bank's perspective, they will see when they receive the money. One day they should give us the money. They can't say like, no, no, we can't give you money. They should give our money. So when they have the perspective of giving our money back to us, that perspective is known as liability, because bank is receiving our money. Bank is liable to give the money back one day for us. It's like entity concept you learn, but it's business and the owner is different. Yeah, I'm saying business and the bank account perspective is different. So two perspective you need to know. From business side, I am saving my money, which is asset. From bank side, bank is storing your money and they need to give you the money whenever you really wanted to. So here I will write bank account as liability. So what you need to know when it comes to this particular chapter on this area, you need to know what does bank issues and what does business has. So now business maintains an account. We say it as bank account. So normally business maintain a bank account. They will see how much money they have stored in their bank, how much money they have sent from the bank, how much money they are going to receive to the bank. Everything will be analyzed under bank account. But under bank, okay, under bank, bank account liability. And they don't save money on the bank account assets. What do they do is they have a statement. They always send a statement to the bank account every month saying that how much money they have actually made. So now this bank statement and bank account comparison is known as bank reconciliation statement. So what is a bank account prepares? I mean bank prepares a bank statement. Okay. Now the difference between the bank account and the difference between the bank statement is the bank reconciliation statement. The difference like certain things will be there in bank account, will not be in bank statement. Certain things will be there in bank statement, will not be in bank account. So when you don't have these details in the correct areas, we consider it as bank reconciliation statement. Also we will be doing something called adjusted cash flow. So when there's a difference between these two, we will be preparing two accounts. Let me write it here. You can note it down. This will be helpful for you. So we prepare two accounts. What are the two accounts? Number one, we prepare bank adjusted bank account. The mistake we are making it correct. So we will correct our bank account first. Then we correct like bank reconciliation statement is a statement which we do. Then when bank statement is sent by the bank, certain adjustment they will forget to record. So those adjustment we record it and see from our side and the bank side is it correct. So this is done by the business side, not the bank side. So people confuse that bank reconciliation is from bank side, it is from the business side. So you need to remember it is from business side. So bank reconciliation statement. Easy as that. Did you understand, guys? So now when it comes to this difference, now when you are preparing bank account from your perspective asset side and bank is preparing bank statement, you find certain differences. When you find the differences, you need to adjust through two things. One is adjusted bank account, other one is bank reconciliation statement. Having that in mind, I'm moving on to the textbook again. Okay, you might see the same thing what they have informed here, so I'm not going to read this entire thing. And you can see this is how a bank statement looks like. You will have normally they don't say debit and credit. They will say here receipt and here it's payment, because whenever the money they receives they are presenting on the credit side. In bank account, when we present it on the debit side, when we are depositing the money on the asset. On the bank side, this is bank side. Bank statement is sent by the bank. So from the bank side, it's a credit because one day they should give us our money. So it's a liability. So they need to pay us our money because it has credit. Whenever you take the money, you see when you withdraw the money, check payment, when you make the payment or when you withdraw the money, they will debit it saying that the money of your account is going down. So the responsibility of the bank account is going down. I will teach you deeply, so don't worry. For your knowledge, we can also look a bank statement looks like. So how bank statement look like? As I said, receipts and payments. Finally, you will have a balance column. But I'll be taking you today only receipts and payments and explain you how these balance columns actually work. Now let's move on to the next part. Usually banks send a statement called a bank statement to their current account holders once a month. The bank statement shows the items which are debited and credited by the bank during the month and the balance. At present, banks send monthly a computer printout to the business that holds a current account. The statement that is sent by the bank is known as the bank statement or the statement of account. So what you need to know when it comes to bank statement, a bank statement is a type of statement which is sent by the bank to the current account holder. It can be sent on the particular, like on the beginning of the month, most of the time it is end of the month. Certain banks send. So when they are sending the bank statement to the current account holder, sometimes this current account holder will receive certain uh, payment not recorded. Maybe you made a payment on 30th of that particular month, and that day they issued morning the statement, so they will miss out the evening transactions. That can happen. So this is how bank statement looks like. So I'm going to teach you how a bank reconciliation statement is prepared. So I'm not going to go on to checks issued but not presented. So the differences, you might see the main reason differences are due to 5 reasons. One is checks issued but not presented. We say it as unpresented checks. Checks deposited but not realized. We will say it as unrealized checks. And then we have third one, direct remittances, the money we receive to the bank account directly. And payment on standing orders. We have requested the bank to make certain payment. You take like this. Standing orders are like you request the bank to make certain payments, like you bought a fridge or something on a credit card, or you bought a fridge or no, not on a credit card. You bought a fridge or washing machine, whatever the necessary stuff for your business. Maybe a furniture, maybe a machine, you bought it and you request the bank every month on this 15, you just pay this 5,000. You don't have time to go to bank and do the adjustment. So bank will do behalf of you. And if you are a good customer, they will do behalf of you. They'll pay your insurance, they pay your, basic expenses, they will pay you on time. So this request of making the payments for certain payments, like requesting the bank to make some payment for your basic necessities, we consider it as standing order. So then we have bank charges and charges of the checkbook. Whenever you take a check book, there's a small charge the bank charge, and also whenever you are being whenever your check is dishonored, bank charges a small percentage of charge. So these are 5 differences you need to know. I want you guys to go deeper. It's not that important to go deeper. What you need to know is the definition of standing order and direct remittances. Direct remittances are like the direct money which is falling into the bank account's debit side, actually from the asset account from our perspective, because it can be a rent, it can be interest, it can be dividend. What you need to know is when you are learning in the text, these 3 things. It can be even debtors can put direct remittance. They can directly put the money into the account. When they put the money directly into the account, we said as direct remittance. Then we move on to the next part, guys. Moving on to the next part, we're almost done with this area. You can see these. There are 2 things which we are going to compare. But before that, I'm going to take you guys into my spreadsheet and explain you how it works. Now you see here in my thing, I have taken a bank account and a bank statement, right? So I'm gonna erase this off. I'm gonna explain you how it works. I'm gonna take another column. What is the column? Balance column. Okay, what is the column, guys? Balance column. So I'll put my top border and a right border to make it completely correct. Yeah, so I'll write here balance. Now here you need to understand one particular thing. According to in your exams, they won't give receipts and payment. They will give you directly as debit and credit. Here they will say it as credit, and here they will say it as debit, as per knowledge. And here in bank account, you already know left side is debit and right side is credit. So bank account is a debit account. Sometimes you might also start your balances at this point. Bank overdraft can happen on the credit side of the bank account. So now understanding with that particular point, let's move on to the area. Here you have a balance of 10,000, for example. I'm just starting with the balance. I'm going to put few accounts for your knowledge. Let me start. You also have a pin with you. I think it's very easy to do. Check 101, check 102, and check 103. I'm going to take 3 checks here and check. I'm just for your knowledge, guys. They will not give like that. They will give Anga, Sangha, some sort of names. So I'll take here 5,000, 10,000, and 20,000. Okay. Then I have bank charges. I'll have check 201, check 202. Then I have check 203. So now you might see that I have taken all the values, like check 101 is this side is on the debit side, and this is the money we are receiving. This is the money we are actually paying. So I will write here 2,000, 4,000, and 8,000. For knowledge, guys, you don't want to know much into these areas. If you just remember these areas, it's more than enough. So then I hope we have taken all the values properly. And I'm going to write here, see here what I'm going to do. I'm going to write check 101. And I'm going to write check 201. So to make it completely correct, then we have check 102. Okay. We have check 101, check 201, and then we have check. I'll take again 102 and check 202. So you might see here, I'm just drafting just an assumption. I'm just drafting the things what we need to learn. So 5,000, then I mean it's not a payment. 5,000 you are receiving, so I'll take 5,000. So I'll take it as 15,000 here. Okay. Then we have check 102 as 10,000. 201 as 2,000. Then we have check 203 as 8,000. So check 102 as 10,000. Then we have, I'll take it on the credit side because it's a receipt. So when money is going, your value is decreasing from the balance side. So 15,000 minus 2,000, you will get 13,000. And here 10,000 you are adding, so you will get 23,000. And then check 202 again, you are paying 4,000. So you have a balance of 27,000. And you might see certain things I'm going to write here. Bank charges, standing order. These are three main differences which can happen. Direct remittance. Okay. Yeah, give me a second. So I'm going to take bank charges as 1,000, standing order 2,000, and direct remittance 5,000. I know this balance, this will not balance actually in a bank reconciliation statement. Both sides should be balancing, but in this balances will not happen because it is just an assumption. But when you are doing the main sum, when we are doing the next adjustment on the paper, I'll be balancing it off correctly. In a bank reconciliation statement, your adjusted, I mean your bank account and your bank statement final balance should balance when you are adjusting through bank reconciliation statement. I'll explain you how it works, guys. Now let's move on to the content. Now let's see here what are the things you have. So I'm going to take a charge now to see what are things when we compare my bank account with bank statement. Remember, guys, when you compare, how do we compare? That comparison is one of the important thing you need to know. So I will take my bank account and compare with my bank statement. So if I take my bank account and bank statement, I'll take my bank account on this. You can see my cursor. So I'll take a bank account 10,000, and here I will take this the balance. So this is correct. So it should not be in receipts. So I'll take this. I'll remove it off. Okay. So then we have next part. We have check 101 5,000. It is also there. So it's completely correct. Check 102 is there. Yeah, it's there. Then 20,000 is not there. So I'll put a cross for this. This is compare. Comparison is very important. Then we move on to the next part. We have check 201. Yes, it's there. Check 202. Yes, it's there. And check bank charges is not there. Standing order is not there. Direct revenue check 203 is not there. First, you compare the bank statement with the bank account with the bank statement. So I will write here. Okay. I'll write here a small note. How do we compare? When we compare, if I'll put a note, guys. If something is in bank account, it can be a note for you, is not in the bank statement, this should be recorded. Should be recorded under bank reconciliation statement. So how to record this, guys? Very easy. Now you see here from the bank reconciliation statement, I'll be putting two type of accounts which I will be recording. I'll be teaching how bank reconciliation statement works. But you need to know when you are putting in on the bank reconciliation statement, you need to take two things. One is unpresented check, and other one is unrealized check. So unpresented check is like you have presented to the bank. On the credit side, you can see you have presented to the bank, but it has not received by the bank, or bank has not made the payment. And bank, this is like, you know, that the data has already said that he has put the money, but the bank haven't received it yet, or the bank haven't approved your checks what you have received. So whatever you have received and not realized, we say that's unrealized checks, right? So you can find unrealized checks under bank account debit side. Okay. So you can find on bank account debit side. So unrealized check, where do it come? We need to deduct. Yeah. We need to. So unrealized check should be deducted from the bank reconciliation statement. It is a list column. So I can write here deduct from bank reconciliation statement. But it depends, guys. I'll explain how it happens. Statement. And then unpresented check, you need to add it back because from the bank's perspective, they have not paid the money, so they need to pay this money. So we are going reverse to find the balances. When we are going from reverse from the bank side onwards, we are going reverse. That's the reason we are not, like, for example, from our perspective, we need to take bank account on the debit side, right? But on the bank side, you need to credit it. That's the reason I'm removing unrealized check. And unpresented check on our side, it should be credit, but on their side, it should be debit. That's the reason I am adding it back. Okay, so from your perspective, like how it is added and deducted for knowledge. To show when you're going from back, from the perspective, it is going, it will be like when you're going from back, you need to do the opposite way. Now, unpresented is a normally unpresented, like when you issue a check, your money is going down, right? So you should, you will ask, sir, if it is going out, the money, why you are deducting it on the credit side? This might be your doubt. But I'm saying when the money goes out of the business, you should be like you need to add it back the opposite way. If you do the opposite way only, you can find the actual bank statement balance, because we are removing it off from the completely bank statement balances in order to see how much money we actually have. So now unpresented checks are like how do you write? We will write unpresented check under, again you can find it on the bank account on the credit side. You need to edit bank reconciliation statement. So I hope you guys understood this. Now, how do I present the bank reconciliation statement? I'll explain you in a while. Now, I'm going to compare my bank statement with the bank account. So this is the second comparison. First, I compared my bank account with the bank statement and I found unrealized and unpresented check. And now I compare my bank statement with my bank account in order to find what are the details is missing on the bank account. Now, when I compare, you might see here, what do I find? I have bank statement, have bank charges, standing order, which is not there. Sorry, I'll take it a bit up. Yeah. So I have bank charges is not there in this. So I'll put a cross here, right? Standing order is not there and direct remittance is not there. So now for this, I will prepare what adjusted bank account. So this not there balances. I'm going to bold it out because these stamps can go anywhere. So I'll write, I'll bold this down. What is not there. So even if it goes wrong, it won't be a problem for you. So you can write in a different pen if it is not there on your paper, or can now you can see that bank charges standing on direct remittance is there in the bank statement, but not there in the bank account. Now what you should do, I'll put another note. If something is in bank statement and not in the bank account, what you should do? This should be adjusted under adjusted bank account. Adjusted under adjusted bank account. So this is what you need to do. You need to open up a bank account and you need to put the balances. Now listen to this. I hope you guys understood. You need to prepare a bank reconciliation statement and you need to prepare adjusted bank account. So on the next example, now this is the basic things you need to know. On the next example, I'm going to teach you how this actually happens. Now you already know how to adjust it. Now I'm going to go to this adjustment which is on your textbook. You can see this. Yeah. So this is the work I'm going to do. This particular Nadika's business, I'm going to compare, then I'm going to explain you entirely how it works. Yeah, let's move on. So now you might see here balance part forward is 15,000. I'm going to zoom a bit to show you what it works. Okay. Please, when you guys are studying, study to a PC or something, so it's easy for you to compare. I'm going to first compare and contrast and write the details in the correct column. So I will write, I will take a stamp here. Then I'll compare with my balance part for 15,000 is compared with this 15,000. And then when you have a cash deposit 8,000, you will see on the credit side of the cash deposit 8,000. Then you have 12,065 and you have 12,000 on the credit side. Then you have 5,000, you have 5,000. Then you have 7,000. Yes, that's all there on 7,000. So now you compare, but there is no 14,000 here on this side. So I will write across here. Okay. So this is checks unrealized. The reason this 14,000 is the value which is not there on the credit side. So I can write here for a small note or something for your knowledge. Then I can record it later. So unrealized, we found 14,000. What is check number? Check 58. Okay, for knowledge. Then we move on to the next part, comparison. We take our credit side 10,000 and compare with the debit side. This 10,000 is there, 4,000 is there, and 16,000 is there. Let me zoom out a bit. Okay. Oh man, everything is getting messed up. If I zoom out a bit, is it fine now? So no problem, you guys can still see it. Now this 7,000, this 18,000 and 3,000 is the only last thing. So I'm not going to compare. Actually, then on the credit side, you have 10,000 and 4,000. What is not there is the 16,000. So that is what we say, checks unrealized, checks unpresented. So I'll write here unpresented checks because you are presenting the checks, but the bank has not considered unpresented checks. How much? 16,000. What is check number? Creditor 10114. So I'll write here creditor 11. So here it should be check deposited, no? So I check deposited. Okay. So now after finding this, now these two will come under bank reconciliation statement. Okay, these two will come under bank reconciliation statement. Now after considering these two particular things, I'm going to take the next comparison, which is the bank statement. Now I'm going to compare the bank statement with the bank reconciliation statement. Almost everything is marked on the bank reconciliation statement. So what is there on the bank statement, we can directly take, it is not there under the bank account. So here 11,000 is not there on the debit side, and 18,000 is not there on the credit side. 3,000 is not there on the credit side. So what are the things they are given? Direct remittance, standing order, and bank charge. You can see my spotlight. Direct remittance from a debtor, standing order, bank loan installment, and bank charge. So I'll write here direct remittance they haven't taken. How much? 11,000 from a debtor. Then we have standing order. What I have, they haven't taken. Standing order is how much? 18,000. And then bank charges. They are making standing order as bank loan installment. So bank charges 3,000. So you understood this, guys. This is that easy to understand. We found the difference. The differences are 5 differences. I'm going to erase this off. Now we found the differences. Now you know where these particular things come. Now I'm going to take this. Yeah. So I'm going to write here for knowledge. So this is how I do in my exams. Whenever I learn, I first plot it, how much values we should take and what is the actual differences. Now see here how I'm starting my adjusted bank account and how I'm finalizing my bank reconciliation statement, right? Bank reconciliation. So then moving on to the next part. Now I know where to put this, but where do I start this adjusted bank account balance? See, you see a balance 31,000 here. This is the balance that you start. So right here, brought forward, because this is on the debit side, so brought forward should be on the debit side. 31,000, easy to adjust. So I had record 31,000. Now I know what will come under adjusted bank account. I said you one particular thing on the statement that adjusted bank account will have only things which is not in the banks, which is there on the bank statement, not in the bank account. You remember, guys, on the sheet 1, explain you if something is in the bank statement and not in the bank account. So we found this. These are the things which is not in the bank account but in the bank statement. So I'm going to take direct remittance is a debit. You can see here because here they have taken it as credit. Direct remittance they have taken it as a credit. So in my adjusted bank account it should be debit, which they have not taken. So right here direct remittance 11,000. Then what do I record? I have the next part, which is the payments which they have taken, standing order and bank charges. So standing order is how much? 18,000, bank charges 3,000. So you can see it's on the debit side, standing order and bank charge 18,000 and 3,000. So you will take it on the credit side of the adjusted bank account. So I'll write here standing order 18,000. I have here bank charges 3,000, right? So now after recording this, guys, I'm going to take the total balances. Those are the differences. 1,000 deducting 18 plus 3 is 21,000. So here you will get a balance of 20. Yeah, 18 plus 3 is 21,000. 21,000 minus 42 is 21,000. So I'll write here carried forward 21,000. So this balances is the value I'm going to take to the bank reconciliation statement. I'll show it in this way. So you need to be very careful when drawing this. I'll write here balance as per adjusted cash or bank account. Okay. Adjusted cash book also you can say, but bank account is also a valid term you can use. 21,000, and here you will add the unpresented checks. You put a topic unpresented check, and you will put a topic unrealized. So unpresented check is how much they are given. They are given a value of 16,000. So I'll write here creditor 114 has a value of 16,000. So take that value to the other side. I hope you guys are doing with me. When you're attempting this sum, when you do with me only, you can score better. So I'll write here 16,000. And then unrealized check, we got, always put a topic here, guys. Like a title or line is better. Then unrealized check. I put a complete line for this. Then for unrealized check, what do we write? We got 14,000 here. So I'll deduct the 14,000. So I'll put in brackets 14,000. Right. So I'll write the same 14,000 here. So now I'll write here check number 58. Right. They didn't give any other thing. They said just check deposited. So I consider it as an unrealized one. So I'm going to make the alignment. Then I get the value. So see, there will be a magic now when I'm doing this finalizing the sum. 21 plus 16 is how much, guys? 37. So I'll write here 37,000 and deduct by 14,000. So I'll zoom a bit, guys, to have a complete view on what I'm doing. So if I deduct 37,000 minus 14,000, I'll get a value of 23,000. So here I'll write balance as per bank statement. So now bank statement balance, what I did on my calculation and the bank statement balance should be the same. So I got bank reconciliation is 23,000. I'm going to move on to my bank statement. You see my final balance is 23,000. If my bank statement balance is completely agreeing with my bank reconciliation statement, my sum is correct. If my bank statement is different and my bank reconciliation is different, my sum is completely wrong. That's how you find out what mistakes you have done in your exam paper. That's all today for explaining bank reconciliation statement. I hope anyone can learn this bank reconciliation statement. It is not only for O levels, students who are doing for A levels, students who are doing for Cambridge, whatever the syllabus, the reconciliation is going to be the same. So please follow this as a rule. If you know how to do this, you will always be able to get a good score on your papers. And see you guys on another video. I'll be doing the activities on another video because 1, 2, 3, 4 parts I have planned to do. Part 1, part 2 I have already uploaded. If you are doing this part 3 adjustment, you should learn part 1 and part 2 to go ahead. And please do not forget to subscribe my channel and hit the notification bell button. Then only whenever I upload a video, you will be updated whatever the things which you're gonna learn in future. Share these things to your friends so they also can learn it completely free. Have a nice day, guys. See you on another video.